and he stole and he destroyed and he burnt down. And Jesus said, I will arise.
Oh, yes. Amen.
I'm not going to let them stay in sin. I'm not going to let what the devil do remain forever. So I'm going to take off my priestly robe. I'm going to put on flesh. I'm going to come down and live like them. I will arise and build. You see, Johnny and his sisters rebuilt the house. But Jesus came to rebuild the house. Touch somebody and say, Jesus wants to come in the house. Can I get a witness, somebody? Let him in, let him in. He wants to come in the house. There's another passage there in Mark chapter 2. It said Jesus had gone back to Capernaum. Apparently Peter lived there. And so he went back to Peter's house. And as he went there, word had gotten out. Jesus was in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And they had seen the miracles and heard his preaching. So by the time he got in, the place was packed. In fact, in Mark chapter 2, it says, the house was so crowded. Ask somebody how crowded the house was.
How crowded?
Come on, I can't hear it. Ask somebody.
How crowded?
How crowded? Yeah.
One scholar said the house was so crowded, people were sitting on the windowsill. You want to know how crowded the house was? The bathtub was filled with people. There were kids sitting in the cupboards. A few babies were in the sink. The house was crowded. Can I get a witness?
Yes, sir.
All the people had gathered together to hear him, and they came and checking out what Jesus was up to. And Jesus was in the house. But it turns out every time you have a crowd, somebody gets left out.
Oh, yes.
There's a paralytic whose house was broken down. Walls were destroyed, need repairing. They called him a paralytic. Paralyzed. And apparently that day, everybody went to the revival.
Come on now.
But I would suspect, there were 4 young people from higher ground that decided to say, you know what, we can't leave our brother behind. Everybody's always going somewhere. We're going to bring this Negro with us.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know how they did it. I wasn't there. But I know they did it. Touch somebody and say, it come a time not to talk about it, but to do it. They just, I don't know, they threw him on their shoulder and they took turns. They said, the Bible said they got a mat, rolled it up, and they carried the brother.
Yes, sir.
Now, they get to the house, and the house is so crowded, they can't get in with the man that if anybody needs to get in near Jesus, if anybody needs to get near Jesus, it's the paralyzed man.
Yes, sir.
They can't get in the window. They can't get in the main door. They can't slip through the kitchen. They can't get in the garage. They said, Lord, have mercy. But when you got a mind to work, you'll find a way. Now, I don't know how, whether it's like in the cartoons, but apparently they find a way to get on the roof. Now, think about that. How do you get on the roof yourself? Now, how you if you got a ladder, you got to get up there carefully by yourself. But now, you got a paralyzed brother.
Dig up there.
But when you got a mind to work,
Find a way.
the mind will find a way.
Yes, sir.
If you really want to get it done, if you want that degree, and if you really want that relationship, you didn't work your way. See, a lot of us fall into relationships, but we don't never know how to build them. My wife and I, when we sit with young couples, we always tell them, you like the idea of marriage, but you're not ready for the real thing. But they had a mind to work. So they find a way to get on the roof. And I can imagine that conversation. They get on the roof and they're on the roof and now we got to get away. Now we're on the roof. How are we going to get them done? They rip up the brother's roof. Now you can imagine this conversation. Hey Jimmy, how much you have? I think I got about 25. Fred, how much you have on you? We will have to pay for this thing. So now look at it. When you have a mind to work, stay with me. You're going to have a mind to pay.
That's right.
Oh, yes, sir.
See, because not everywhere Jesus sends you,
Give it pay.
You want to go, or it's going to be free.
That's right.
Hello, somebody? Talk to most missionaries. Some pay with their arms. Some pay with their families. Some pay with their lives. When you got a mind to work, it's not a free thing. They get on the roof and they got to pay to rip up and repair this brother's roof. Now check it out now. They tear up the roof, right? Put a hole big enough so they go let down the... Now could you imagine? Especially us folk in there. Because if something's scary, we're not staying around with cameras to watch. We're gone.
That's right.
Can I
Amen.
get a witness, somebody?
Amen.
All the other cultures are watching. They're taking the pictures of the storm coming. You never see a brother or a sister up there with a tornado coming.
We don't chase stars.
We gone.
Yes, sir.
You just say dump here, we gone.
We're gone, man. What do you got, chasers?
They're going to be talking about that on the way home, Pastor. Like they didn't know. It's amazing how we lose some of our favorite words because we came to Canada and got educated. And guess what? Everybody preserving their culture, but somebody told us Caribbeans, we must leave it behind.
Yeah.
I'll finish that when I come back the next time.
Hold you to it.
Yeah, we just finished Black History Month. That includes us. Because we were some of the slaves that went to the... So they tear up the roof. They let him down. Now, could you imagine Jesus speaking and suddenly this man is just floating down? Just you can imagine. And then here's the shock. After they're surprised that a brother's floating down, then they realize all this crowd. And you got this little house, this little bungalow. This is no big house. Thank you. I got some help up in here. This is no mansion. I got some help up in here. You know, this is no estate. This is some little bungalow. You're squeezing in, you know. So they're pressing in, you know, and Jesus don't have nowhere to room. Suddenly his brother coming down, and they got to make room for him. But it's surprised that somebody's coming down. But what shocks the community, stay with me now, because here's where it gets real deep. What shocks the community is this is the brother all of them never wanted to help.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
No, let me break it down for you. Archaeology and scholars said this brother got sick due to a known sin. Okay? So you know when us church folk, we know somebody like Job, we're not going by Brother Job's house. He got a curse on him. We're not going to Martha's house because she's pregnant for the third time. Even the brothers who like her not going near. Oh, talk to me now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This guy had been laying by the gate, broken. Here was a life who was a wall broken down. An opportunity, we pass him all the time. And suddenly he shows up. And you didn't bring him.
Yes, sir.
You didn't bring him.
And finally you thought, oh goodness, somebody brought that man. One of my favorite writers puts it this way. He knew nobody wanted to help him. And he knew he was not worthy because of what he had done. But somehow when he heard Jesus was back in town, he may have called to his friends, can you help get me there? So higher ground was right in the neighborhood. And they threw him on and brought him. You know, I just imagine it was, you know, a 12-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 21-year-old, and they brought him. They got him, and he comes down. And now, this is where it gets deep. Because when you're in church, there's some people you don't want in heaven. You don't want help. You know, we all got a list. I got some folk too. I don't want to see them there. Come on now, just admit it. And then we stop ourselves and say, wait, how much more worthy am I? Because when God the Father consulted with God the Spirit and God the Son, and they decided that Jesus would slip into skin.
Yes, sir.
Take off heaven's shoes and walk a dusty road and bear our pains and feel our mess. None of us was worthy.
None of us, sir.
That's like the church folk saying to Jesus over another part of Luke, when it comes to Luke 15, and they say, Jesus, why are you hanging around sinners? He said, y'all crazy? You don't get it? You mean, God, left heaven, and you asking me why I'm hanging around sinners? You dummy. I left heaven to save sinners.
That's why
And because you've been brought in a religious culture, you're wondering, you think you're that better. You're the sinners that I came to save. You just won't allow me. But thank God the prostitutes and the wine bibbers feel the need for me, and they're reaching out. But you're just standing there like you don't need me, because you got that old-time religion.
Yes, sir.
He's let down by Jesus. Jesus says in the text, Luke